Caitlin Clark setting yet another viewership record. Caitlin Clark won Player of the Month last month. Caitlin Clark has now won Player of the Week. Not only AP Player of the Week, but she's won WNBA Player of the Week as well. She will not be denied. Now, normally when you win Player of the Week, you're playing your normal minutes. Usually when you win Player of the Week, you're playing.
What happens when one player starts breaking records so often that it almost feels routine, yet every new milestone somehow leaves the entire league scrambling for answers. Caitlin Clark has done it again with another record-breaking week, another Player of the Week honor, and numbers that have everyone talking. However, the biggest surprise is not the award itself. It is what these unbelievable ratings might reveal about the future of the WNBA. Has the league reached a turning point, or is something even bigger about to happen?
The face, the only face, the real face of women's basketball, period. She did it again, Caitlin Clark, shattering records, creating new viewership records for USA Sports. She did it again. Y'all keep running around trying to pretend like this person's the face of the league, that person's the face of the league because they've been here for 9 years or they won a champ. That does not make you the face.
The strange thing about Caitlin Clark's latest achievement is that the award itself almost feels like the least interesting part of the story. Winning another Player of the Week honor is impressive, but the bigger headline is what keeps happening every time she steps onto a basketball court.
So Caitlin Clark has officially declined to compete in the WNBA All-Star Weekend 3-point contest. And people are already asking why. This is a massive, mistake by the WNBA. This is a problem. There are players that are not competing that they think should compete. And let's be real. They might be right. In fact, they probably are right.
Every network that broadcasts her games seems to stumble into another ratings milestone, and every executive in sports television has to ask the same question all over again. How is one player consistently producing numbers that the league had spent years trying to reach? That question became even louder after the Indiana Fever's matchup against the Golden State Valkyries drew an average of 1.14 million viewers on USA Network.
They like it. I ain't gonna hold you, man. We got to get back to this viewership, man. Caitlin Clark has broken another viewership record. So as of right now, Caitlin Clark, 2.5 million views for the New York Liberty game, peaking at 3 million, making it the second most watched WNBA game since 2000. Nothing but Caitlin Clark, the needle mover, does surprise me just another day for the Queen, and the league still doesn't promote Caitlin Clark.
That figure was not just another healthy audience. For a regular season game, it became the most watched WNBA game ever broadcast on the network, surpassing every previous benchmark. Even more remarkable was that the audience represented a massive increase compared to the network's average WNBA viewership from the
season. However, when you're Caitlin Clark and you're that damn good, when you're that damn talented, even on a minutes restriction, USA Sports coverage of Valkyries Fever last Wednesday, July 15th, is its most watched WNBA game on record, averaging 1.14 million viewers and up 172% versus last season's average WNBA cable.
The funny part is that this record barely had enough time to settle before another one arrived. Just 1 week earlier, the Fever's late-night matchup against the Los Angeles Sparks had already rewritten the history books by becoming the first WNBA game tipping off at 10 p.m. Eastern to still attract more than 1 million viewers. Most television executives would normally panic when they see a sporting event scheduled that late because viewers usually have work, school, or the irresistible temptation of going to bed. Apparently, none of those things apply when Caitlin Clark is on television. That has become one of the most fascinating patterns in professional Sports today. Fans are no longer simply following the Indiana Fever because they happen to support the franchise. Casual viewers who may not have watched a single WNBA game a few years ago are suddenly rearranging their evenings because they want to see what Clark might do next. That distinction explains why television ratings continue climbing, regardless of the opponent, the arena, or even the broadcast network. Whether the game airs on ABC, ESPN, CBS, NBC, or USA Network, the conversation almost always circles back to the same player. Networks are discovering that broadcasting a Fever game feels a little like finding an extra scoop of ice cream at the bottom of the freezer. They know the audience is probably going to be larger than
expected. So lads, I am just back from playing ball, and I am literally going to be quickly recording this video, and then the rest of the stuff is some pre-planned stuff for today. And obviously, Caitlin Clark has not participated in the three-point shootout. The three-point contest participants are AZ Fudd, Marina Mabry, Ryan Hart, Natisha Heidemann, Janelle Salon, and Bridget Carlton. And one player that was not announced is was Sophie.
Perhaps the most revealing detail is that the common denominator never seems to change. Every time another ratings list is released, Indiana Fever games dominate the top positions. Different opponents come and go. Different storylines develop throughout the season, yet Clark remains the constant variable in an equation that keeps producing enormous audiences. That reality has fueled plenty of debates about who truly serves as the face of the WNBA. Those discussions have become some of the most passionate conversations in basketball because several established stars have built Hall of Fame-worthy careers over many seasons. Players like WNBA, Breanna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, and others have earned tremendous respect through championships, MVP awards, and years of elite performances. However, being the league's best player and being its biggest television attraction are not always the same thing. Whether someone loves her style of play, roots against her every possession, or simply wants to understand why everyone keeps talking about her, they still end up contributing to those audience numbers. Television executives are not concerned about why someone watches, they simply appreciate the fact that people are watching.
Being a GOAT, what can we say here? This is courtesy of USA Sports PR. Here it says, USA Sports coverage of Valkyrie's Fever last Wednesday, July 15th, is its most watched WNBA game on record, averaging 1.14 million viewers, up 172% versus last season's average WNBA cable viewership.
Ironically, some of Clark's biggest critics may be helping her popularity even more. Every heated debate on social media creates another wave of curiosity. Every controversial foul becomes another viral clip. Every argument over officiating, rankings, awards, or media coverage encourages thousands of additional people to tune in and decide for themselves. It almost feels as though Clark has accidentally discovered basketball's version of perpetual motion. Every discussion generates more attention, which creates more viewers, which leads to bigger headlines, which sparks even more discussion. That cycle is incredibly difficult to manufacture intentionally. Normally, reducing a superstar's playing time also reduces their statistical impact. Clark apparently missed that memo. Despite playing fewer minutes, she still managed to perform at a level that convinced both media members and league officials. She deserved Player of the Week honors once again. That accomplishment says as much about efficiency as it does about talent, because maximizing every possession becomes even more important when every minute is carefully managed. Think about how unusual that
Really is.
We would love to see compete in this. We're still waiting for that Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu competition. We didn't get it last year like we expected when she was in Indiana because she was injured for the All-Star game weekend. And now she is here again, and she's dealing with a lot of injuries once again. So that's something to think about.
Most players accumulate impressive numbers because they spend 35 or even 40 minutes on the floor. Clark was producing elite performances while operating with fewer opportunities than many of her competitors. It is the basketball equivalent of arriving halfway through the movie and somehow still winning. The award for Best Actor. During the award-winning stretch, she averaged 25 points, 7.7 assists, and more than 2 rebounds per game while continuing to stretch defenses well beyond the three-point line. Those statistics only begin to explain her influence because they fail to capture the countless possessions where defenders abandon their assignments simply because Clark crosses half court. There may not be another player in basketball who forces defensive game plans to begin nearly 40 feet away from the basket quite like she does. That is why teammates often find themselves enjoying cleaner looks at the basket. Clark's presence bends defenses long before she even attempts a shot. And that kind of gravity is incredibly rare. That IT explains why analysts frequently point out that the points she directly creates through scoring and assists barely scratch the surface of her offensive impact. If anything, this latest award feels less like a surprise and more like another chapter in a season that keeps becoming increasingly historic. The remarkable part is not that Caitlin Clark won players